Whoa, crazy. Uh, let's figure this out. Okay. All right, let's get this started. We will figure this out together. So, these are all the pieces that I need to build my keyboard. Okay, let's get this party cooking. First things first are the diodes. Check it out. Lever. Arms swing this out a little bit more. Oh god, that's really out of focus. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. Looks like we got our through-hole stuff. I need more light than this. That's better. It's a little too reflecting, but fine. Okay, my switches, and I got my board. Okay. And 10 minutes and nothing. Good job, Nick. So, first things first is I got to solder these bad boys on. And looks like they go on the back. So, I wish this was labeled a little bit better. So it says Alright, for my no followers, what happens is these slip and slide together like that. As you can see, there's a little notch where these two come together and chill. We have spots for the microcontrollers. So this one is the left side. Let's get this focus. So this, I believe this is the left side. It's hard to tell. So it has the 2 micron spacers in there. Let's see. Keep frequency. 65%. So left half with the 2.5 macro kit. That looks like it's this one here. So I think this is the left half. And there's this macro kit over here. Everything gets slid into. Yeah, so this is the left side. And so it looks like this is the one I want to get through first. Now, these diodes have to go through these through holes. The diodes are important. They do the thing. All right. So they said these should go on the underside. I'm going to use the USB-C microcontroller to get that going through. And it's actually kind of cool. So I know this is the left side. I have all my diodes. What you should do first is I would space out how far these need to go. Eyeball it. Okay, and then try to find something that you can bend this around. As long as it's straight and flat, you should be good. So I'm gonna take all of these, push them mostly over the edge, and then I'm gonna bend them inward. Like so. You want a nice 90-degree bend so these can slide right in. And you're going to want to do this on both sides. It's going to be a little tough on this side. So, there's going to be a way that I can get this through. Okay. I'm just going to do most of the way. So I don't want to rebend it. If I get it most of the way down, then I can come back through. It's just a matter of this will ease the process of slipping these in later. They're bent in a little bit already. Okay. So diodes. Diode goes bad, easy to replace. So I'm going to do the opposite of what they did in this guy right here. So what I'm doing right now is I am soldering in the diodes on the board. I gotta go one at a time, so this will take a little bit of time. And from the looks of it, you want the side that has the black stripe to go in through, to go into the square side. And that's how it was on the, what was it? That's how it was on the Ergo docks that I built. It's the same thing. Same shit, different day. Just pop this in. And voila, that's one. And now I got to do that for all the rest of them. Now when you're putting something with metal legs through, what you want to do is after it goes through, like that, you want to bend the legs out. So what you're going to do is you're going to solder those into place, and then you're going to come back through, and then you're just going to take some side snips or some sharp scissors if they're good for metal. Not all scissors are good for metal, so it's not always recommended. But you just pop them through one by one. It's a little dull, it's a little boring, but just think about why you're doing this, why you want that dank AF split keyboard. Pop one at a time. Nice and easy. Do 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 do. So I'm making progress. As you can see, I've got quite a few of these in. And you just want to keep going. You just want to keep slapping these guys through. Making sure that they're all aligned the same way. See? I messed up here. I popped this one in the wrong direction. And this will fuck up your entire circuit. They all have to be the same. Because they're looking to generate a signal one way and then stop the signal from coming through the other way. Yeah. So the black line goes towards the side with the square. It's just going to take some time. Put on some nice soft jazz in the background, something easy going. And look, I'm already making progress. I'd recommend, while you're pacing yourself and while you're doing this, you should take it nice and easy. And go through line by line, like a printer, kind of just scanning through. Because it's easy to miss one of these things, and then you'll have to come back through, and then you'll have to, painstakingly glance through all these, see which one's missing, and ain't nobody want to do that. I don't want to do that. I hate redoing my work. It's awful. So make sure you're putting them in carefully, every single one. You get them in the right orientation, and I'm fighting off that urge of self-doubt real quick. It's hard, It's tough putting yourself out there. But even if literally nobody watches this, it's going to be okay. We can talk about stuff. Is a man crazy if he talks to his camera knowing nobody's on the other side? Two at a time, two at a time. Do 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 do. This was a triumph. Making a note here of success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. Do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead. But there's no sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake. And the science gets done, and you make a neat gun for the people who are still alive. I'm not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now. Even though you broke my heart and killed me and tore me to pieces and threw every piece into a fire. As they burned, it hurt because I was so happy for you. Now these points of data make a beautiful line. Hello, hello, and welcome. So I'm going through the fun part of putting the diodes on the board, making sure all of them are orientated in the correct format. You know how diodes work. Hello. I'm putting the diodes in right now. I'm going to have to solder them in after this, making sure they're all facing the right orientation, taking my time. Damn. And we're out of beta, we're releasing on time. So I'm glad I got the time to think of all the things we've done for the people who are still alive. Alright, I'm getting there. A little hard to see, but making progress. There we go. Got most of them in at this point. I just have the macro pad left up here, and I got these guys up here. But we're making progress. We're getting there. Let's see. Let's get that. There we go. So can I get some booyahs in chat? No. Why not? Oh man, I need some hype. Hype me out here, buddy. So, what's the latest board you've got your hands on? Are you a build it yourself kind of dude, or are you someone who just does the group buy kind of thing? Or have you never even had a mechanical keyboard before? Oof. What you planning on building, man? Or dude, or whatever you are through the other side of the internet? You don't know? What you leaning towards? Are you are you one of those gamer types, or are you something else? Just someone in it for the aesthetics, or still deciding? Well, it's a fun process getting through all this stuff. It's definitely hard work. It's not. I wouldn't even really say it's hard building your own stuff. It's just tedious. So right now I'm putting in all the diodes, and the diodes are the pieces that there's these little circuity things, and they let electricity through one way, and they don't let electricity through the other. Yeah, it's hella rewarding, dude. I absolutely recommend it. It's once you get it done and you type on it and you just kind of like get to stare at it and think, yeah, I made this with my own hands. It's a damn good feeling. I've built like I'd say 1.5. So I just finished. Don't tell anyone else I showed you this because I'm making a video about it. But I just finished this bad boy. So it's an Ergodox, and let's see if I can find the LED. Yeah, and I modded it because I got the clear acrylic case to have LEDs. So it's kind of shiny and awesome. But I recently left my old job, and I'm going to be working as a full stack developer pretty soon. And I wanted to have a good keyboard for the office, and that's what I'm building right now. So I built that, and I took like a shitty Roswell board and I split it in half just to have a split keyboard. I'm I am very addicted to split keyboards. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that one has. Oh, they have Halo True switches on that guy. Every other keyboard I've had has had MX Brown switches, or just like the Razer equivalent. I'm very on that MX Brown lifestyle, so I prefer things that are similar to it. This one is going to have the Heiko clears, and they're. I got them mad cheap. Where did I put them? Why do I throw them? They're around here somewhere. Should be around here somewhere. I hope I can find them. I'm supposed to be putting them in this thing. There we go. Yeah, from the Kono store. They're like a box clear switch, but the way that they're made, they're a little bit too they're a little bit too thick. They're thick with two C's, so they have a trouble breaking like a little bit more genteel keycaps. But I got PBT, so they should be able to hold together just fine. Very, very true. I'm a man all about that thickness. Thick boys for life. I love the thickness so much, I have become the thickness. Okay. I think I got just about all of them. The nice part about this community of like everyone who does like r/mechanical keyboards, they're all super supportive and very smart people, so I don't have to do the heavy lifting of thinking too much about this stuff. There's so many guides that exist, and there's a great guide that I'm following right now just on how to do the Q frequency. So for things first, you pop in all the diodes and then you solder them in. And it comes with these bad boys too. So I gotta put in the diodes, the resistors, and the microcontrollers. Okay. So 2 IC resistors. Okay. Now the soldering portion. It's always important to double check your work with this stuff, because if you don't, the debugging process is always a pain in the ass. So this is the bottom, this is the top. Now I take my soldering iron, and I have to solder all these guys into place. You ever solder anything before? Now, the important part about soldering, don't mean to make any assumptions about your intelligence, but just in case anyone else comes across this and wants to know how, what you got to do is you have to press onto the metal of the contact, which is like the metal part of the pad, so the contact pad. And then you also have to touch, basically you want to touch everything that you want to melt solder to with the tip of your iron. That's the hot boy right there. That's about 600 degrees right now. Get it nice and warm. And then you have to press the solder to a part of the metal that your soldering iron, you don't want to touch the soldering iron directly, because then there's these things called cold joints where the solder isn't really bridging the gap between the metal lead and the pad. Basically, it looks like it's glued together, but there's gaps and it's a shitty connection. And that shitty connection will not allow electricity to flow through it, or it'll just break off. Funny story, I built an electric longboard, and I have recorded the footage of me fixing this. But this is the remote control that controls my electric longboard. It's got a little rocker switch up here, so yeah, you push it forward to go forward, and you pull it back to brake. And whatever idiot put this together had a cold solder joint between the battery inside this thing and the circuit board. Meaning that at some point, my remote control just fucking died because whoever made it, the remote control made it incorrectly. And the point where it decided to die, I had a hand that was full of groceries, and the other hand had the remote, and it wouldn't break. So I just kept accelerating on a road, and there was an intersection like right there, and the light went red, and instead of braking, which I furiously tried to do by pulling back on the switch, I just kept going faster and faster into the intersection. I had to dive off my board so I wouldn't go into the middle of traffic. Ugh. Luckily, if I fuck up a solder joint on this, it's a little less life-threatening. But still, it's important to make your connections correctly, because you don't know whose life will be in your hands. And as I was saying, when you solder, you want to touch all the areas that have the metal that you want to solder together. So I'm touching the lead, the pad, and then I touch my solder not to the iron itself. I touch it to either the lead or the pad, because I want to make sure that those areas are hot enough to melt this, because we need it to get that hot so that they stick together. I only have to do this like 50 to 100 more times. Yeah, so be careful when buying e-board parts from Fleabay. It'll save you a few bucks, but it might end up costing you your fucking knees. This is technically not the best tool for this. If I had a pair of side cutters, I can get this down a lot closer, but this is what I got right now. We'll just have to make do. I don't feel like going out and buying a pair. I'm snipping as I'm going along because, as you can see, for some of these areas, it's a little messy to get in there. It's like a fucking bramble bush. So I'm making my way out from the outer portion in so I can get to everything. So in case you're curious, the reason I went with a Q frequency, which is this guy, I really love split keyboards. And I love being able to, I like the staggered layout more so than the ortholinear thing. I know I built an ErgoDox, but that's kind of just because I'm a keyboard basic bitch and I wanted to make it because I think they look cool. But I think I prefer typing in a staggered layout. I'm just so used to it from, years practicing on that type of keyboard, and learning how to type on that kind of keyboard. It's hard to go back to ortholinear. Although it is getting a little bit easier. I've been noticing more and more that when I go back and forth between like my laptop and this keyboard layout, the adjustment isn't as bad as it used to be. The one thing that always fucks me up is the C key, because on this kind of keyboard it's like kind of like out a little bit, but on an ortho it's straight back. I think that's the hardest key to adjust to. Hello, hello, newcomer. So to get you up to date, I'm building a Q frequency, so that's a split staggered keyboard. And right now I'm going through getting to the diode portion on it. Just chit-chatting a little bit here with Violent FX about keebs. So what are you rocking right now? What's your keyboard of choice? Have you found your end game yet? So what I'm doing right now, I have like a few days before I start my new job. I was a data analyst for a little while for some big old bank, and I decided that I sort of hated that whole corporate atmosphere. And I have a friend who works for a startup, and they needed a full stack engineer, so I'm going back from data analyst to full stack programmer, and I'm very, very hyped. But to celebrate, I thought I'd treat myself. And I'm treating myself with a split keyboard. I'm just going to go over USB-C. I'm just going to be able to click-clack away at my office. God, I missed programming so much. Like, I don't know about you, but I was raised with the idea of, you should get a job to pay the bills, and then you can do whatever your heart really desires outside of work. But you have to find something day to day that you can at least tolerate. Like what I was doing, I couldn't hang. Like the money was decent, but it was just a matter of I would be sitting at my office desk every day, and I'd be frustrated, and I'd try to get things done, and it just wasn't happening. So I'm taking the jump. I'm jumping ship to a better job, and this is my little present to myself. I got a Q frequency. I got some Hacko Royal Clear switches that are nice and thick and boxy. I got a good tactile click to them. And they were on clearance because they're a little too thick. Their thickness would destroy some. I think they were ABS key switches, not key switches, key caps. But I went with PBT for this build, so hopefully they shouldn't crack them. If you want to look at the key switches that I'm looking at, go to the Kono store, and it's the Hacko Royal Clear switch, and I think they're $12 for 36. Yeah, it's damn good for some switches. I do love me a good deal. So who here has built their own board before? Tell me about it. I want to know. What's your pride and joy right now? Ooh, quiet bunch. All right, I will go first. So as I've been discussing a little bit earlier, I built an ErgoDox, the OG ErgoDox, and I popped in some of my own LEDs. Yeah, it's fun. Who's still here? Give me a booyah in the chat. I want to know. I'm curious. All right. Did you come here from our mechanical keyboards? Or are you just chilling? Do I know you? Do I know you from somewhere? Who cares? All right. On the internet, everyone's a stranger. Who also knows where you live? You hope that I don't know you? All right. It's interesting. This one's a mess. I'm getting a lot of emojis, though. I'm happy about that. So what got you interested in keebs? Is it the aesthetic? Is it the typey? Tell me a little about yourself, buddy. For me, I love keyboards. Like I think I've said this in another video of mine, but I'm a computer engineer. I graduated from Lehigh, and computers have always had a very near and dear place to my heart. Like I've been gaming ever since I was a young lad. The first game I played religiously was Mega Man Legends for the PC. I love that there's such an artisanal care for just the input device of your computer. Like it doesn't change how well your games run. It doesn't change how fast you can do things. It's just about a certain aesthetic and a certain feeling. That's pretty cool that people just want to bling out their computers. All right, we're coming down to it, about halfway there. Okay. Almost an hour in, and I'm almost done soldering half of these diodes in. So this is what I mean when it's a labor of love. Look at how many I still got left in there. But all these guys are in. We're making progress. It's like a tambourine. What's going on with you, Violet? What's your day-to-day looking like? So what do you think, Violent? Am I gonna be famous? Am I gonna make it to the top? Do I want to? Not particularly. Kind of just do this stuff for the fun of it. It'll be cool, but it also seems hella invasive to the rest of my life. I don't know. I feel like it would be nice. It'd be easier to accomplish the things I want to accomplish if I had some clout. But then again, just looks like daunting. So many creators say they're burnt out, and I feel like I would definitely be one of those people that burns out pretty easily from that sort of creative lifestyle. Not even. I would burn out if I was put into a corner and I had to create the same things over and over again. It's very hard for me to complete a project, although I am getting better with it. What about you, dude? You want to be famous? I think I said this before, but I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool if I get to stay myself. Like, I'm never gonna be one of those like bitches and bling kind of people. Like, I put up a video about this, but like, I don't know. I want to. The main audience I want to reach is people who are like a younger me, who maybe have trouble in believing in their own creative pursuits, who have trouble believing that what they create has value, who has trouble putting things out the door with the fear of what they're going to make isn't going to be good enough. So in that sense, yeah. I would like to make some sort of impact in that area and encourage other people to do what they want to do and not be discouraged by what other people say and not be discouraged by the fact that, you know, it's hard. It's a lot of work. So I guess, yeah, I guess I do. But I want to, not potentially what that sort of lifestyle would make me, if that makes any sense. I don't want to become some sort of fucking loudmouth persona. I just don't see that in me. Meanwhile, I'm saying this to two people on a stream. we're just hanging out. We're just having a good time. Who else we got in the chat, huh? You like Keebs? He is fucking obsessed with squeezing the most amount of dollar amount, or the most value out of your buck. For a PCB with some switches that are all clicky. Oh god, it's happening. Oh, I think I got all the diodes on this side. Oh, I think we're there. We're gonna make it. Okay, I think that's all the diodes in on the left side. I don't think I'm missing anything. The nice part about these circuit boards is that they label the diodes and where they're supposed to go. Okay, I think that's these two switches. I got these two resistors here. Now, every electrician, computer engineer, one of their best friends is a voltmeter. With this thing, I can, at a glance, figure out if these if these resistors here are the ones that I need to put into the board. So it looks like there's two 4.7K resistors that are needed in the board. 0.5. Those do not look like the right ones. Interesting. What are you guys here for? I don't know. Some sort of tactile switch. 4.7K. So I do have more resistors that I can use. 4.6K ohm resistors. So blue, red, so resistors work by having little bands that wrap around them that tell you how much resistance they have. This is gonna be fucking impossible. This is gonna be impossible to see. There we go. It's a little hard to see, but there are color bands that wrap around the resistor itself, and I'm going to use their color code to figure out if these are the resistors that I indeed need for this board. And you go left to right, reading through what colors there are. So it's yellow, it's 100K, purple, red. Red is 100. blue swan mega bomb. Multiplier. So, gold. So it starts with yellow. 4,000. I don't think these are right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna dig up my resistor box and I'm gonna find two 4.7K resistors and pop them in here. This is gonna be hard to find because there's a shit ton of these. I have to sort through all of them, so be patient with me, will you? Do have 4.7 kilo resistors in here, right? 4.7K. Yep. God, I hate this part. So tedious. You having a good day? What's going on over there, babe? How's your life going? Dude, 4.7K. Beauty. That's the one I want. There's a million of these, so I'm actually really happy that I was able to find this so easily. Take two. Pop them through. Same deal. Bend the legs. Bend the knee. I will bend the knee. If you're really anal about it, make sure the bands face the same way. Like me, I am very anal. um, me at any job. How would you describe yourself? I would say I'm very anal. Just super anal. Gotta stop. It's not a good word. Yeah, can we get some what's? leave a comment in chat of how anal you are on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, a lot actually. The word, it's a lot. A lot is not an actual word. It came up so much that someone actually made a mythical creature called an a lot and just pops it into people's sentences. It's cute. I recommend looking it up. Oh shit! Where are you from? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to bully my one. Oh shit! Ha! Now I can bully you. Another person in here. What country are you from, bub? I'm from the best country, aka America. Okay, let's see. Germany. Oh shit. You know, I'm gonna be pretty close by to you, and my girlfriend's in Munich right now, but in about 2 weeks we're gonna meet up, and I'm gonna go to Copenhagen and Amsterdam. So be pretty close. You recommend seeing anything while I'm in that sort of area? I am so excited for. God, there's so much garbage beer here in America. I'm excited for good beer and canal rides and oh god, all that old architecture. Oh, all that stuff is so cool. It's interesting being in I'm in Queens right now, and so in New York City. It's funny how America just, since it's a hodgepodge, it doesn't have any sort of like unifying culture. It's weird. It's like just gonna pop a quick LaCroix right here. Oh yeah, oh, that's the stuff. Since America, since we're such a melting pot of all sorts of different cultures, it's kind of funny. Like, I feel like there isn't any sort of like unifying stuff that we unite with. Like we get there's all that. Like, I'm proud to be an American. Like, everyone has a pickup truck and like 14 shotguns in the back, but it's still a very specific part of the country. That's not the whole thing. Out here, and as being a very nerdy white kid from the suburbs, I feel like there's just like a gap in my culture, in my cultural experience. Like, the most I get is when I visit my Greek relatives, like who live around here, which is always great. It's always wonderful to see them. It's so funny. It's a melting pot, but also when things melt together, you lose some of what makes them unique. All right side of the board. Doing the same thing. Gonna drop all these guys in. I'm gonna solder them into place. Okay, we got some booyahs for soldering, for metal on metal gluing in the chat. Oof. I guess not. I guess that's an F. Ah, jeez. Oh, God. I gotta say, this is the first time I'm really doing something like this, where I'm just shooting the shit, chit-chatting. I usually do much more edited content. It's kind of nice. It's freeform. Like, I don't really have an idea for a video for this thing, but I still want to make something from it. Give people a little bit of a guide about how to make one of these things. It's nice. It's relaxing. So once again, I'm putting all the diodes into place. For those of you who don't know what a diode is, imagine... So electricity flows through wires, obviously. Don't know shit, Nick. It just goes one way or the other way, or in the case of alternating current, AC, it goes both ways. What a diode does, it only allows electricity to flow in one direction through it. It has to do with silicon and semiconductors and all that fun jazz that I learned in college that I don't really remember off the top of my head because I've specialized in more programming stuff, but it's cool. It's a cool process about how the electrons jump and then can't just make it back. It's like you're going through a video game and you reach one of those walls that say, warning, past this point, this is a point of no return. You can't come back. And that's what all these little diodes are. They're points of no return for the electricity. And it's like this so there's no signal noise traveling the wrong direction. as these keyboards send their signals. There are little ups and downs to the microcontrollers. There's one thing I like about the Ergo docks and not about this thing. You only have to buy one microcontroller, one like actual microcontroller. You have to still buy an IC, integrated circuit, that communicates. Actually, let me pop up a visual demonstration here. So in Ergo docks, like this guy right here, we have some sort of microcontroller that's the brain box, and this is like an actual little computer, and it communicates to the other half through a 3.5 millimeter headphone cable. It's actually a TRRS cable because it needs to transmit a little extra. So instead of just having left, right, and ground, it has left, right, ground, and then some sort of extra data line. Not really too sure what it's used for, but here there's just an I/O controller kind of thing, but it's not an actually fully programmable one. And they just talk to each other like that. But this one, I have to have one of those full-fledged, full-blown, big dick energy microcontrollers, and one seated on either side. One still talks to the other, and then all information about what's being typed goes to your computer through one of them. But this is to understand what one half of the keyboard is saying, translating it to the other half of the keyboard through, once again, a headphone jack, and then talking to the computer and telling what buttons are being pressed and yada, yada, yada. That's it. Well, we got a booyah for the dumbass engineers in the chat over here. College was fun, but I am glad I've moved on with my life and I can do more what I want to when I want to. Looks like they're all facing the right direction. So once again, for good soldering, you want to make sure that you're touching the pad and the lead, and then you touch the solder to either the pad or the lead to make sure that they're both hot enough so that the solder can flow through and connect. And it is really cool that you're basically heating up an area before you're putting some solid metal to it so it can turn to liquid metal. And then basically just be an electrical glue that exists between the pad and the lead. It's really cool stuff. Done a bunch of soldering in my basement over the years, like building. Let's see. Yeah. If you never soldered before, I really recommend getting just like a cheapy soldering iron. And there's all these cool soldering projects that exist on the internet. Like one of my favorites was an AM/FM clock. And you solder on the resistors and the capacitors and what are the bonus points? Anyone who can tell me what the coiled wire is called in circuits? They're not really used anymore because they're just not as reliable, and you can use a capacitor in their place basically wherever. Anyway, anybody? Because I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay, so I'm about a third of the way done getting these guys in. So you really have to care about the polarity, and the polarity means what way you're plugging your component into the circuit board. Because diodes, like I said, they're a wall one way, and they electricity through the other way. And so when you're building a keyboard, notice that all of these are facing in the same direction. So it's kind of creating a grid and a line for the electricity to follow as it flows through. So when the electricity gets to any certain point, it can't go back. It's cool stuff. I love circuits. I had a really good conversation once with one of my professors talking about the circuitry of the human body. And if you think about it, our brains, the way that it has electrical pulses that flow through it, and that happens based on a chemical reaction, and there's the mylar sheath where the electricity like jumps over the synapse, and it's so freaking cool. But the way that he was able to really put his mind around electricity and circuitry was, he was originally, I think, a mechanical engineer. And the way that it made sense to him was through pipes. So imagine water flowing through a pipe. Electricity is kind of the same way. It flows and it follows the path of least resistance. It kind of just goes through the circuit because that's what it wants to do. And he talked about how the human heart is cool because it has a one-way valve. So your heart has ventricles, and there's these portions where it fills up with blood and then it squeezes. So imagine like squeezing a balloon. You're really just like forcing the blood through, and that's how your blood gets through your body. But it would really not be good if blood flowed the opposite direction inside your heart. So it has this one-way valve where it lets blood in and then it flaps shut. And that's kind of what a diode is. It lets electricity through, but not back the other way. I'm kind of rambling, I know, but this stuff excites me. And this is one of the main building blocks of any circuit. Because if you really look at a circuit, the main things that exist for it are probably going to be resistors, capacitors. Those are the main guys. And then there's diodes, and then there's transistors, which are the thing that sort of revolutionized how all circuitry works. Literally everything around you is, your phone's able to be so tiny, your computer is able to be so powerful, all because of transistors. And it rocked the computing world when they were first created. We get some booyahs in chat for transistors, am I right? So how my party people doing in the chat? We all good? We all okay? Having good days? I hope. I am having a wonderful little staycation away from work. Don't start until the Tuesday after Memorial Day. I'm just going to take it easy peasy. I'm going to recenter myself, do a lot of meditation, chill the fuck out, go check out some art museums. I'm going to savor this, work out a little bit. I celebrated a bit too hard getting this job, and so drank a little too much. And I have to wean myself back into shape. Although, through working out and through eating a little bit better, I am down 10 pounds this year, so I am pretty freaking happy about that. Go. This one needs to get soldered in. Ow, fuck. You gotta be careful when pinching these things. Might have stabbed myself a little bit. To the danger. There's a great phrase that any engineer will know. It's called letting the smoke out. That means when you royally fuck something up and you burn some sort of circuit, and just if it's like you overvolt a resistor or something, you put too much electricity through anything, just all this disgusting smoke just floods whatever lab you're working in. And so it's become this joke that you don't let the smoke out. You want to keep the smoke in your machine or else it'll stop working. I am a bit of a mall ninja. I do love me a ball song. Oh, look at that. Bam. Hmm. Packed in a mold, smiling, says she lives for me ovation. One motivation, she comes around and meow, 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 meow. God, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm doing this as a USB-C for the street cred, but it's it's way more inconvenient because I have like one USB-C port on the back of this computer, and I'm using it for my VR headset as like I'm using it for a USB 3 sort of hub, connects to the sensors for my VR headset. Ugh, it's silly. This stupid bitch. It definitely gets shiny object syndrome sometimes. So once again, what you want to do is drop your diode through so that's facing the right orientation. And then you spread them legs. God. Oh, got it. How do I get back there to the place where I fell asleep inside you? How do I get back to the place where you say I want something else to get me through this semi-chunk kind of life, baby, baby. I want something else. Now listening when you say goodbye. Going two at a time here, just dropping them through. So one microcontroller is going to go there. One microcontroller is going to go there. And that's going to be the one that plugs into the machine. I don't know if you ever get like this, but sometimes I get so caught up in worrying, like, what's the best thing I can do right now? What's the most efficient way I can use my time? How can I make the most out of this? That sometimes I just worry about that decision, and then I don't end up making any decisions whatsoever. I get so caught up in trying to make it the best it can be that it's just paralyzing. Definitely been that way ever since I was a kid. Always second guessing. Fuck. Get in there. Come on. Get the fuck in there. That's right. These are all the right orientation, right? Yep. Black facing the square. So how's my chat doing? We having a good day out there? Good vibes only, am I right? These things are silly, aren't they? Oh, so many people in my generation dream of being like getting what they have to say out there. I don't even know who I am sometimes. All wanting to make the world a better place, but don't know how. Okay, almost done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more to pop in, and then I have to solder all these guys in and snip the leads. give a quick run through after this, make sure I got everything. Oh, that's looking good. That's looking real good. Damn, son. That's beautiful. Yo, she got that donk. Oh, hello there. It's a fun note to join me on. So, for our massive new audience, what we're doing here is we're putting together a Q frequency. So it's a split staggered keyboard. Yeah. Well, now I'm building it for two, Pink Roy. Welcome, welcome. Just chit-chatting about life and keeps. Oh, dude, yeah, I know. I ended up going with the 65% because I just got tired of waiting for the 60% to come back into stock. I bought the shittier metal plates too because I don't know. I don't need it looking super aesthetic. So what are you rocking right now, man? Try to keep. You don't like splits? Oh, dude, I'm all about them splits. My first keyboard that I made was I bought a cheap Roswell with like, oof. Oh, dude, ugh, don't. I might have to ban you for that. The first keyboard I made was this Roswell that let me show you this disgusting beast actually. Ugh. Yep. I had just graduated college and I was kind of bored out of my mind, just chilling in my parents' basement. And so I took a Roswell Cherry MX board that was on sale and I did this to it. And it works perfectly fine. It works great. I've loved this thing, but it's not quite pretty enough for r/mechanical keyboards. Oh. Current thing I'm using right now. Yeah, I have yes, it is. It's treated me well. I did well with it. I moved on to Halo Trues on this guy, which I'm going to make a video about. I did the whole Portal theme. I took an Ergo Docs and I actually did RGB stuff to it too. It's going to be a little hard to see. This is a shitty webcam, but I added RGB to both sides. That's my go-to right now. I don't know, man. I just got a thing. I got a thing for split keys. They are perfect for me. Sometimes the least passing. So what are you hoping to build right now? What are you hoping to use those pandas on? What switches? So at Kono, they had these on clearance. They're the Heiko Royal Clear switches. The stems are apparently a little bit wonky in that if you have a weaker keycap, it'll just like split it. But I'm going to be using PBT keycaps, so it should be fine from what they said. But I like it. I'm very much I don't know. I've kind of always revolved around Cherry MX Browns. I just like how they feel. I don't need a super loud keyboard, but I like the tactility of it. But also, I'm a hashtag gamer, so it needs to be able to move pretty quick. Although this is going to be for my office, so when I've been chit chatting with the other dude around here, so I'm moving jobs, which is fantastic. I was a data analyst at a pretty big bank, and it just wasn't for me. So this is my little present to myself for finding something, going back to full stack development instead of just being a data analyst. Let's see. 60%. I'm gonna play it with the GB star. All right, that sounds fun. Yeah, you don't. I definitely don't want all the real estate on my desk being taken up with the keyboard. So I like that this is a 65% board. And if I ever need the function keys, I can just add on another layer. So I feel that. That's good. It's a good choice. You gonna go ortho or staggered? Yeah. See, I like the ergodox to a certain extent, but it's just yeah, I get that. The only key that really fucks me up for on the ergodox is the C key. It's just like slightly too weird, and it's hard to get used to. But the more I use it, the more I'm getting like around to it. Yeah, yeah, and you wouldn't want to build something that you don't use. It would just be a waste. Yeah. And I'm gonna use the shit out of this, dude. I'm gonna program so much stuff. I'm going to a startup, which I'm a little terrified about because it's it's all on me whether or not it works or fails. So it's a lot of pressure to get that done, but I don't know. From the project that they were describing, it sounds like I can do it. Hmm. You ever solder one of these boards together before? It's kind of fun. It's time consuming, but it's fun. It's just sort of therapeutic to put things together with your hands. The only thing that's annoying though is you have to make sure you get every single diode in there, or else a whole row might just be dead. Ow. Shit. They're also pointy. Watch out for that. Might make your own PCB. Oh shit. That's cool, man. Go for it. Yeah, no. I thought about doing that too. Like I'm pretty into 3D modeling. Like I thought about just printing something out. I don't want to have to go through that. Oh, that sounds worse, huh? Yeesh. Do you ever use those like those single switch PCBs? Because I know those are a thing. There you go. At least you know what you want. Oh shit. You gonna use those, or is the sound gonna be weird with that too? All right. See, I thought about using them, but it's good to know that they'll be annoying. I shouldn't use them. Let's see, which one's the GH60? Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, dude, that looks fun. God, it's crazy though how much of a money sink this hobby can be. I have another keyboard planned after this one. Like I'm gonna make a 40% ortho. I'm gonna 3D print the case for it because I have an idea to sort of make a travel case and a wrist rest all in one. I really like that idea, but I got so many other projects going on that one's just on the back burner. Do you have a case for that GH62? Like, you got that wooden thing, or you just have the PCB for now? Yeah, it looks like there's a... this kind of thing. Looks like on Alibaba there's a pretty cheap wood thing can smack the circuit board into. God, I used to have a carbon filter back when I lived with my parents. Should make another one of those. Stuff is not good for you. It's known to cause cancer in the state of California, you know. Hmm. Yeah, right. Well, the thing I've learned over the years is there's never a right choice, just good choices. And sometimes it's better just to pick something, make it happen. I was deciding on a new camera because I sort of film stuff in my own time and a lot of this stuff. And I've been hemming and hawing for like a month on what camera I should get. Finally decided, but you know, sometimes it's good just to bite the bullet, make something happen. No matter what, it's gonna be better. In terms of like the stream, yeah, I kind of got tired of. I have so much film backlogged that I need to edit into full-fledged videos, and sometimes you just need to get something out there. That's what I'm doing right now. I want to get something out, and not have to wait to fucking highly edit something again. That shit can take like a week to multiple weeks. Well, if you're still here, I hope you figure it out, man. Anything's better than a rubber dome. God, this stuff smells funky. This stuff definitely just smells like it's not healthy for you. Solder smoke. Don't breathe this. Welcome, welcome. In our last episode, Nick recently left his job. Alright? After finding better employment, more in line with what he wanted to do, he set off to build a new keyboard for his new job. Join him on an adventure of a lifetime. Featuring Nick Comas as Keanu Reeves. A keyboard as a keyboard. Saudi as the soldering iron. Will they make out? Find out this week on Sporp Tales. I was a Romeo and Juliet. Don't mean to brag or nothing, but I've had fun. Don't mean to say I'm an auteur or anything. Welcome, welcome. Watch a man put diodes into a circuit board. Step right up. Oh, shit. Fuck. It's pointy and it's hot. Don't let it touch your hand. It's only 600 degrees. Who's still with me? Can I get some booyahs in the chat? No, this must be terribly exciting. Damn it, Violet. How many times are you gonna do this to me? Just want to hear some booyahs in the chat, man. Ugh. Killing me. I think that's it. I think we're done with the diodes. Fuck. Just gonna snip the tips. So if you can't do this, go to your local rabbi. They relish in snipping the tip. Go. L'chaim, am I right? Can I get some l'chaims in the chat? Okay, bam. I think that's it for diodes. That only took 2 hours of my life. So, diodes are in on both sides. Now we double check our work. Make sure all of these are pointing in the right direction. Because once you start putting this together, every step forward that you take, it's exponentially harder to start taking this thing apart and diagnosing if you have any issues. But I think we're good. I think we got all this in place. And now we move on to the next step, which I'm totally not looking up as we speak. Pro micro pin headers. Does it happen on top or on bottom? Happens on the bottom. Okay. So there are 2 microcontrollers that we need for this bad boy. We have one that uses USB, micro USB, and then we have the other, which is a USB-C. I'm going to use the USB-C to plug into my computer because I'm just like that. I just do that kind of thing. And then the other one is going to be micro USB. So micro USB on one side, USB-C on the other side. And now we gotta get this thing. Gotta get this into place. We gotta make sure that the pins line up with where they need to go. So raw TX. So it looks like it's facing out. Oh, I actually need to get the connectors in as well. We can come back to that. So, what I have to figure out is how this goes in. TNT ground. 76. It looks like it just solders out. Can I get some help in the chat? Which way do I point my microcontroller? Am I right? Paging Dr. Tom. Okay. Oh, I'm just going to bite the bullet here. It's going to go in. I got to get these in anyway. 4B6. Raw. Okay. So that's raw. And I got to raw dog it. This goes in like that. Okay, cool. So that just gets soldered in like that. So I'm matching the raw pins. It's bloody raw! Yeah. What are you? God. I swear I can do some accents. I promise. Let me be your clown. Alright, so you gotta be really quick with this one, because if you're not careful, the pin will melt the plastic. So it's good to mix up which pins you're soldering at what point. So get it, set it, forget it. Got it? Good. Beautiful. I'm just going through one by one, making sure the pins are attached to the board. As always, there is a pad, and then there is usually a pin, some sort of pokey metal bit that pops out. You gotta glue the pokey to the pad. When the pokey's glued to the pad, things ain't so bad. As a matter of fact, some would say things are great. Like for me, things are pretty fucking great right now. I am happy with where my life is. That is something I would not have said like a month ago. God, I'm so happy that I'm no longer dealing in the banking industry. That was not for me. Not in the slightest. It was hell on earth. Bam. At least for me. I'm one of those foolish creative types. Thinks their art can help them sustain in the world. Believe this guy? Can you believe this guy believes that, what he makes is cool? It's value. Oh, hello, newcomer. You just walked in on me having an emotional breakdown about art and how it's hard to support yourself with art. Oh, shit. The views are rolling in. Welcome, welcome. So, to update you on the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, I am moving jobs. I was a data analyst for a bank in the city. Now I'm going to be a full stack engineer. Oof. Can we get an F in the chat real quick? Is that possible? Get a quick F in the chat. Anybody? Nobody? Going once? Pressing F to pay respects twice? And sold to the bidder. Almost done with one of these guys. Almost done with the other. Bing, bang, boom. All right. So now the pins are in place. There we go. The pins are in place to keep this in place. Now I got to go to the other side, and I actually have to solder the microcontroller on. This is the microcontroller. It is some sort of Arduino. I think it's a Teensy. Yeah, it's a Teensy. Some sort of rip-off thing. Just pop that in there, like so. Just slide that on. Bada bing, bada boom. Beauty. Now, when you're soldering on an IC or something like this, it's really good to get the corners down first, because that way, if you solder like the outer corners first, it acts as a sort of glue that keeps the thing in place when you're getting the rest of the pins soldered. So let me just double check that this is right. So we have the TXC and the raw, TXC and raw. Okay, this looks right. And drop it in. Pop, lock, and drop it in. And then I just have to solder it one to the other. And I'm going to have to nip these tips once again. God, you know what? I should be a rabbi. God, I'm so good at humor. So fucking funny. All right. Bing, bam, boom. Zim, zam, zoom. Surround them from micro heads. Yeah. Looks like this guy did it in reverse to me. So that's fine. The only thing that matters is that you get all the pins in the right spot. You raise me up so I can walk on mountains. You raise me. Oof. That's an oof. So out here is having a good Thursday. Huh? Who's having a good Thursday out here? Can I get some bazingas in the chat real quick for a good Thursday? Huh? Looking at the stream, and I probably could zoom this in a little bit so I can get you guys in on the action. That'll come after this. Okay, cool. Dunzo Bunzo in the gunzo. All right, so diodes. Diodes are in place. One microcontroller is in place. I gotta nip the tips. Impersonating my favorite childhood rabbi. I'm not gonna impersonate a rabbi. Sorry to disappoint. This is not good. My computer to the left of me is pretty open. If you have a sec and you get bored, I have a channel where I put out recently me building a Hackintosh and sticking the Hackintosh inside a 20-year-old Mac. And that's the computer I have next to me right now. I leave it open for extra airflow, but flinging around little metal points is probably not the healthiest thing for it. So if the stream dies, that's probably why. Just a friendly warning in advance, just so you guys know what's up. All right. Nips are tipped. That's not right. Okay, so the tips are nipped. I need stabilizers at some point, but those are fine for now. So this is the underside of the board over there, and then this is the other side here. Nice. Hell yeah. Making progress. Diodes are done on the undersides. Now I gotta drop in the reset button along with the connector for the TRRS jack. Bonus points for anyone who can tell me what the TRRS jack stands for. Bam. Look at that. Look at that. Easy peasy. So make sure that's the right way. Okay. So I'm just going to add a little pressure here. There we go. Cool. Should be good. Do, 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 do. So who here has built their own board before? Let me know. What'd you make? So right now, this is my second board that I'm building from scratch. This is the third board that I've ever really heavily done any modifications to. Excuse me. So that's that. This drops in like that. So I dropped in the reset button, which is this thing right here. And this thing right here is the TRRS connector. So I think it is. Should be. Drops into this hole right here. And then you solder it into place. Once again, try soldering the corners first. Because if you can get the piece flat and you can get the corners in, then getting the pins in the middle, you don't have to worry about, its orientation and whether it's in the board correctly. It's just good to do, good practice to follow. You get the other pins. Once again, you want to heat up the pad and the pin first and then solder. Otherwise, you might make a cold solder joint, which means it ain't working. You're wasting your time and you have to spend time to diagnose what's wrong with your thing. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. So I'm following the strat of having everything on the bottom of these things. This is the left one, and it has a 10 macro keys that you can just pop in, which is freaking cool. But now I gotta pop in the TRS connector. So once again, I'm just gonna take these connectors, and I'm just going to drop them in. Bam. Same rocket surgery. Cool thing about these circuit boards is everything is usually labeled to a certain extent. Don't have much to figure out. You just have to drop it in, solder it in place. And when you do, you make something beautiful. Just gorgeous. Oh, look at that. Look at that clean joint. Beautiful. Now, this is what's known as a staggered board. I'm sure you're most are familiar with it because it's the standard keyboard that exists where the keys are not in line with each other. This is my first staggered keyboard that I'm building. The other board that I built, for those of you who are not here, is this portal-themed this portal-themed ergodox that I built recently, and I'm making a video about it. I'm gonna pop that up in this channel soon, so feel free to subscribe if you like hanging around and like fun things. But I built it and I modded the back so it has LEDs with the proper orange and blue sort of coloring to it. I'll just show that off right now. So I plug this in. Bam! Look at that. nice and glowy. So I had to figure out and that's that yellow tape on the back is, God, what is it called? Oh, I can't believe I forget. Oh, well. It's a specific circuitry tape that you use because A, it's non-conductive, B, it can take really high heats, but the non-conductive is the most important part. Because you don't want metal from your 5-volt line touching random spots on your keyboard because you might fry your microcontroller. Bam. Just gonna make sure all these have a good, healthy glob of solder on them. Bing, bam, boom. Bang, bang, orangutan. Beauty. So, connectors. Soldered in. All good. This should be all fine. The buttons. Oh, that's like ASMR. That's great. So those are tactile switches that are used to reset the boards themselves. Yeah. So now I need to put on the other microcontroller. Whoop. So I'm using an Elite C from keeb.io for this. Once again, you have to pay attention to where things go. So there's a raw, there's a TRX spot. I think I have to do this in the same orientation. So yeah, it should be fine if I just pop that in. We shall see. And we'll double check. I don't want to bother with the... Just use the USB-Cs. Excuse me a moment. Okay. Just have to check something real quick. I have to feed my sourdough starter today. Okay, so it looks like the TRX, the TXO/D3 pin is the same as, oh yeah, D3, perfect. That's where it needs to go. Yay! So what that was over there is I'm also planning on building an ortholinear 40% board, but this is coming first. Oof. Why is it staggered like that? It's awful. Oh, it's probably to keep it in place. Oh. Sounds like some people are having a bit of a domestic. Okay. God, it's steamy in here. Anyone, please, can I get some booyahs in the chat? If this video gets to 5 concurrent viewers, I will... I don't know. What will I do? I'm not really the clown type. Am I a fucking clown to you? Yeah, well, am I entertaining? Huh? Are you entertained? So I was debating, since I have some time this weekend, should I go see the new John Wick or should I see Endgame? I have some time. I wasn't really sure what I would do. I'm also just going to spend a bunch of tomorrow checking out the Guggenheim. That's a cool spot. I have not been to yet. If anyone wants some advice on what to do when you're in New York City, I'd say avoid as much of the tourist BS as you can. It's just not. It's not worth it. There's so much crap that you can see. If you're gonna go to like Times Square is interesting, like the first time you see it, but it's just a fucking capitalist paradise. Ugh, full of giant glowing screens, things trying to sell you shit. It's a money sink. A couple things that I recommend are Governor's Island. Governor's Island, it's a $3 ferry to go from the southern tip of Manhattan to Governor's Island, and it's just this cool. Like the island itself is falling apart. Like it's in disrepair, but also it's just kind of has its own quiet beauty to it. Especially if you live in the city, to get away from the city, it's like a perfect place to do so. It's just got sort of that northeast charm to it. It's gorgeous. I took my girlfriend, and we on my last day of work went there and we rented bikes and we just went up and down the mountain, not the mountain, the island, and it's beautiful. So I really recommend it. I recommend you fucking go to Governor's Island on a quiet, nice day. Bike around. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Let me just do this so I'm not flying this shit everywhere. Sorry that I'm completely defeating the purpose of having a stream. But once you get these all soldered into place, typically you should slice off the leads of these things just so it sits better. Usually have to. Why is that so high off? Yeah. That's one side, the other. Beauty. All right. Looks like all of them. Nice. So now I gotta pop the D3 in. Here, just let me pop the D in real quick. Just for a second, mind. Just a little, only for a second. What's that? It's that AVE thing that he always says. Just the tip mine and only for a minute. And that's what it is. Just the tip mine and only for a minute. So the nice part about a USB-C is that these are much less likely than a micro USB to break off. There's that one video on Linus Tech Tips about that dude, like, I think it was like resoldering or hot gluing his micro USB from his Ducky keyboard back in place. But with the USB-C, I don't think I'll ever really have to. But also, I'm probably going to get tired of this thing and want to make a new one. So I doubt I'll get all the use out of this that I probably should. This habit is definitely a money drain. Okay, almost done. Bam. All right. Nope. Never mind. I missed like 4 pins. Okay. All right. Always check your work. Make sure you got everything soldered in place. Yeesh. I could have sat that a little bit better, but it should be fine. So, microcontrollers are in. There we go. That's that. Do I need like a different USB-C? USB-C. Do I need like one of the mini TRS connectors? No, that's good actually. That'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. USB microcontrollers are in. Got the plates in. Stabilizers. So I gotta clip those in. And then are we pretty close to getting this thing together? Because I know I have to
do some other stuff too.
These are the stabilizers. Got a bunch of these. Here we go. So these clip into place and they stabilize your thing. And you have to put these in before you finish. God, that's cool. That's so fucking cool. Which stabilizers do I need? Okay, so these stabilizers just kind of pop in like that. I'm using the 1.25 micron ones. So they slip in and they clip. So just to show that happening, there's holes. So you can have like 3 different keys right there, or you can stabilize one. I'm going to just stabilize one. So you pop these in, then you clip them on. There we go. Beauty. And so that has a little counterweight to it. Oops. I just gotta slip that out real quick. Oopsie. Actually, I think that was right. Yeah. There we go. Check that out. So I'm gonna add another one of these. These are pretty easy to work with. They go up through the bottom. Like that. And then you take this metal piece, and there's 2 holes. You go for the lower one, pop it in. Take the other one, you do the exact same thing. There's a video tour out there about how to do this. So you take it, and the same thing, on the other side, slide it in, and then you attach the stabilizer. Oops, that wasn't in the full way. There we go. And that's another one in. Now I want a few more of these. So I can add one for the shift key here. And I think I'm gonna do that. Fuck. Did I do this right? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Whew! I was worried for a second. So I want one for the shift key, and I want one for the enter key. You know what else excited that Game Grumps is actually doing like fun series again? Like I fell off them for a long time, but the Ace Attorney one's really fun. I'm enjoying it so much. Like there's all that drama going on right now, which is unfortunate because it's because they have a very special place in my heart. Like I went to go see Ninja Sex Party live in the Sony Theater in New York City, and they were incredible. They were so much fun to watch. I'm just so excited for the Ace Attorney series. Like it seems like old school Game Grumps again, which is it's so good. I think I can put one micro. I think I can put a stabilizer in that one. This one maybe? I think that works. Oh, I can. Okay, cool. So these are tough. There we go. All right. So I got another one in. I'm going to get 2 more. One for the enter button over here. So there's a stabilizer. And then one last one for the shift key on the other side. I hope I have enough of these. Alright, okay, cool. I do. Yeah. God, how has this been happening for an hour and a half? No, not an hour and a half, 2.5 hours. Wow. Time flies. Time certainly flies. Tomorrow, I'm going to get up, I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to just enjoy my day off. Been worrying a lot about, am I doing enough? Is this what I'm doing? Is all what I'm doing enough? Because no matter what, when you're trying to make progress in the world, it is really slow and agonizing. It's hard to stay motivated over a long period of time on goals. At least for me. I struggle with it. I struggle with maintaining excitement, maintaining the chutzpah to keep going. You just got to keep on trucking. It's the only way you're going to achieve your dreams, Nick. And then sometimes you can take some time just to step back, think about all the stuff you're going through, what you're doing, why you're doing it. I'm a little hokey and overly nostalgic. Welcome to me. All right, cool. Drop this one in as well. There we go. Beauty. Bam. Look at those. It's so stable. Oh my God. So stable. Oh. All right, what do I have to do next here? I think I have to just flash the ROMs. So I need a micro USB cable and a USB-C cable. I have to flash both of them. So that means I have to plug this shit in some way. If anyone's curious what anime I'm watching right now, I'm going back through Kokoro Connect. Like rewatching it, it's very sped up. It feels like things are happening very quickly than from the first time I watched it. It's good so far. I like it. I recommend. Let's see. I probably should have flashed the Pro Micro before I installed it. Whoops. These are the things we learn when we build stuff. So where's the button for the Pro Micro? Should be able to reach it somehow. It doesn't look like it has a program button. Yeah, there's no button. Okay. Let's just flash it. Apologies about the delay. I gotta figure this stuff out. Okay. All right. You know what? I gotta figure some stuff out before I come back to this. I'm gonna have to learn how to flash these things. So I'm gonna take a break for a little bit, but I want to thank you guys for coming along this journey with me for the time being. It's been real. So I gotta clean up my room. Oopsie. Thank you for stopping. Oof, that's overexposed shit. No, equally as bad. All right, thank you so much for stopping by for the time being. Part 2 will come out after I figure out how to do this stuff, probably in a day or two. But thank you very much. Y'all have a nice day. Thank you, Toberfree. Yeah, no, soldering, I don't recommend. I also don't recommend vaping either. So you get popcorn lung. Bye.